Hello, my name is Chelsea. I use she, they pronouns. The trailer for the final peak update dropped today, and we have a release date of August 11th, which is so soon. That's 5 days away. I'm so excited. I wanted to talk about it because this is one of my favorite games of all time. So we get a few shots of the peak that we already know and love. Really interesting here, if we go frame by frame, it looks like the troop number is 437. Which kind of matches what he says, and it gets cut out. You can hear the start of the 4 and the end of the 7.
Troop number 4.
There's the journal, the tropics, the plane crash, no roots, the alpine, the mesa. Then we get to see our first glimpse of what we now know is called the gloom. We have a little scout statue holding what appears to be a little corrupted Bing Bong gem. The two options are, this is a new item that you can find anywhere. Maybe it's like a legendary item that you can get from the scout statues, and it's not necessarily exclusive to the gloom. And they might just be saying that these statues can hold like mythical items. I think what's more likely is that this is a specific item to the gloom, and that it's able to like cancel out the effects of whatever the water does to you. I still stand by my theory that the water is going to do the curse effect. And then in the background, we have these reeds coming up out of the like gloom water, gloom lava, whatever it is. And then we have a crow standing on what might be like a stone holster for like a torch or something, or it could just be like a statue. The crow is moving. I wonder if they're gonna be like an enemy, like a thing that we have to avoid, or if they're just there for atmospherics. Going a little bit out of order, we'll talk about the Citadel in a moment. And then, yeah, we see all these crows circling. If you look closely, the crows appear to just kind of be a particle effect. It looks like they move and then they blink out. So at least those ones, I think, are just going to be atmospheric. But you can see right here, coming out of the gloom, it looks like there's a ghost. Yeah, there's definitely a couple ghosts coming out of the water. I think we might get something similar to like the Caldera firestorms. That might be like the ghosts, and they can inflict like curse effect on you, and this item might be a way to like counteract the curse. Because I feel like having these scout statues, it's a clear indication of far away that's like, oh, I can find one of these items and I can stave off the curse with it. I guess the other alternative would be that there's a new status effect. I think it would be boring if it was just poison. I think curse would be super interesting, especially if you're coming up on a climb to the Citadel. If you have a permanent debuff to your stamina bar, it's going to make it that much harder and that much more fun. I wanted to point out in this tree that's on the bottom left, you can see a crow and then what looks like a nest with some green eggs in it. So I'm wondering if it'll be a different type of egg or if that's just like the fog filter on the regular eggs. But I wonder if you try to get the eggs, if the crows will like attack you. I think that the crows might play a part. They might kind of be like the bees or like the zombies where they try to attack you. Or they could, maybe they have a mechanic where they can like steal stuff from you. Like they come and steal an item out of your hotbar or your backpack or something. Could be really cool. On the right here, we can see a really big tree and there's a chest on the roots of it. It's kind of how I got the scale there. That's huge. And then we've got these like fences, which I'm wondering if you can walk on top of or climb along. And then as we pan up, we get to see the Citadel. It looks like we have a similar entrance to the kiln, where there's a big hole in the side of it, and it's definitely glowing in there. What I'm wondering is if this thing to the right is a lava flow coming out. And actually right below the door, it looks like that might just be part of the building or a way to get up to that, like a ladder or something possibly, because we do see ladders inside. There's all these wooden beams sticking out of the Citadel, and I'm wondering if there'll be inside and outside parts of climbing it. Like if you can go back and forth between the inner and outer Citadel, might be really cool. So our first clip of the inside of the Citadel, I think this is after you go into that round hole. I think what we're going to have is an outer shell, like the kiln, and then an inner tower in the Citadel itself. You can see the terrain leading up to it. This round window on the right that has like fire. I don't think that's lava. I think it might just be like a furnace or something that has like a burning kind of rock texture inside of it. So if there's a central tower inside the citadel, maybe we can go back and forth between the inside of that, but just not outside of the overall structure. The elephant in the room, we've got these swinging spiky ball traps, which is very cool. A big part of the kiln is when the lava rises, and I don't know if the citadel will have something similar to that. I'm looking at these outlined kind of red areas, and I'm wondering if those are platforms or windows or like a way to go to the outside, or it looks like they might just be wall murals. They look like tiled murals. We've got bridges across, we've got chains, we've got our luggage, we've got these ladders, which are new. I wonder if it's easier to climb ladders, if they'll kind of be interactable like a rope is. What I'm looking at now is there's this semicircle platform down below, and then it looks like there's a path leading up from that, and I don't know where that would go unless either that's the entrance into the citadel itself from the gloom. It looks like we're pretty high up in the citadel, so I don't know if that's the case. It's either that, and then the citadel you can climb down, and it's kind of like the tomb. Maybe the goal with the citadel is not to climb up it. Maybe you can go up or down. What if you can go up and get to the peak and escape? Or you can go down also and, like, rescue the Scoutmaster? What if he's down there, and it's kind of like Golden Bing Bong in the tomb, where it's like you have to get to him and then climb all the way back up and get to the peak and help him escape? And that's that final cutscene that we see, with his hand reaching up over the peak, because that's the box of flares at the peak. And I don't think they would make that shot just for the trailer. This might be a go downstairs and rescue the Scoutmaster kind of situation. The other option is that pathway just goes outside of the tower, but look how far down that goes. It's really hard to see what's at the bottom because it's pretty low res, but I don't see like a pool of lava or anything. I don't think we're going to have lava rising. I don't think we're going to have anything that necessarily times us in the Citadel. I'll leave you with this. I've got a couple clips from a video I made almost 3 months ago. May 22nd this was published, and I don't want to say that I nailed it, but I kind of nailed what the gloom was going to be. I will admit I had no idea that they were going to change the kiln. I thought it was just the caldera. The kiln being different makes total sense. It just completely slipped my mind. So enjoy that. They're going to finish peak, and they're going to have one final biome update. I wanted to speculate and give my thoughts on what that biome could look like and what I would like to see. So as far as I'm aware, heat was a mechanic before that update, and they just fleshed it out in the mesa. The roots, on the other hand, they did that, but they also added a new stamina debuff with like spores. We might see something like that, but I'm willing to bet that it'll flesh out existing ones. The one that I would like to see fleshed out the most is definitely the curse. Like when you die and you come back to life, or if you use the Book of Bones or whatever, and you get that like, it's like dark purple. Anyway, I think that curse is a status effect that's underutilized. I think it would be cool, first of all, to see more ways for it to be removed. And second of all, for it to get more implementations as far as it being like affected. So here's my idea for a new peak biome to replace the caldera. This is not good. This is not good. Hold on. Imagine a spooky graveyard. Similar to in the roots how there are like spore zombies. We would have skeletons. Basically, think of like the caldera is now with like the lava. Instead of lava, it would be if you've ever played Zelda Twilight Princess, imagine like Twilight Princess. In the Twilight Dungeon, there's that like dark fog puddle kind of area that turns you into a wolf if you step into it. Imagine like that, but like in the middle of the caldera. And then, you know, graves and like dead trees and, you know, spooky graveyard, like mausoleums and statues and stuff. And then instead of, like in the roots, there's the spore zombies. And so imagine instead of those, it's a similar concept where they see you and chase after you, but they're like skeletons. And it's, you know, if you die with enough curse, you turn into a skeleton, and you like attack your friends. And then just new items, like, we could have like new legendary items that are like holy items that could remove, curse from you, or you know, make it so like the cure-all like removes curse or something like that. Just more interactions with that status. I think it's a very underutilized status that could be, and especially with there being ways to get it outside of the like the biome, it could be fun to have like, oh shit, your friend like, if they use the Book of Bones and they have curse from that and then they die, the skeleton just turns evil and starts coming after you. But it still looks like your friend is a skeleton. I think that would be really fun. But then, like, the eggs could still be, like, there could be, you know, crow's nests or something in the tree, like ravens. Graveyard ravens in, like, the trees that are, like, cawing, and then they can have, like, nests, and that's how you get the eggs still. That's my prediction. I, of course, have no idea what they're going to actually do. I just think that would be cool, and I wanted to talk about it. Yeah, imagine dark, voidy kind of substance. Cloud kind of, you know, like fog. Like the fog, but like dark and purple, you know? And then it gives you that curse effect. And then these could be like big trees, and these could be like mausoleums, and there could be statues and gravestones in there that you could stand on top of and kind of be like out of the fog. Could be very cool. Anyway, let me know what you guys think in the comments. Thank you guys so much for watching and choosing to spend your time with me. It means a lot. I hope you guys all have a great rest of your day, and I will catch you on August 11th for the final peak update. I'm so excited.